because accountability is it's goals on all things of your business, of your life, not just business.
Hi, it's John Bernatovicz, your host of the HR Like a Boss podcast. Welcome to season 3. I've embarked on a journey to get to know amazingly awesome HR and business professionals with the hope of finding what it takes to do HR like a boss. If you like the show, please like, subscribe, and share with a friend. On today's show, I am joined by Cory Carlson. Cory and I met through a LinkedIn connection, and then we are scheduled to have myself on his podcast. Cory's a really big deal. He's written a couple of great books. You should check those out. Win It Home First and Rise and Go. But I want to give a big welcome to the HR Like a Boss podcast to Cory Carlson. Welcome to the show.
John, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Well, Cory, the podcast is HR Like a Boss. And to me, everything is about meaning and purpose. What is your true north? Where are you heading? Why are you doing what you're doing? And I ask all of my guests, the very first question is, how would you describe the purpose of human resources?
HR has responsibilities on the benefit side and making sure, kind of everyone's in check there. But for me and where I've had the most, I guess, success, or even call it just the best relationships with HR, is those that were all about the development of the individual and put together the career path inside the company, as well as helping them develop outside of the organization. And so some of my best relationships with the HR people, the different companies I worked for, was those that, cared about the development of people, as people and culture, not just, kind of just benefits and making sure things happen. But that's who I've enjoyed the most in my career.
Yeah. And you mentioned the importance from your perspective and your journey of how you got into executive coaching yourself. What do you think are some of the benefits HR or organizations can experience when they work with an executive coach?
I think that executive coach is such more powerful than just kind of watching a bunch of videos. I mean, I know I've watched my share of videos of, self-development. That's information. And if you truly want transformation from a leader, there's got to be that implementation, right? So information plus implementation leads to transformation. And so, yeah, if you watch it, I've written a couple books, I've got a podcast like yourself, John, but it's just information. Like a coach can come alongside and help you implement by holding you accountable, providing the outside perspective. And in doing that, then your leaders will actually start to change and to get better. Because if we're just listening to a whole bunch of podcasts, reading books, yeah, we got a bunch of ideas. Hey, you need to do the square method for your leadership, or the triangle, or the circle. But you can get paralysis by analysis. But if you have a coach that actually helps move you along, hey, did you actually roll this out to your team? Did you put the vision and values out to the team? Whatever it could be, but it's just that accountability to keep moving you forward.
And do you think it's important, Cory, to follow up on that, to have that coach be an outsider, someone that doesn't work in the company, or can you have success either way?
I do like having mentors inside the company, or you're whether it's a buddy system or you're giving a mentor, someone to follow alongside. But I'm a big fan of someone outside the organization as well, because I know in my experience as being coached, but now as a coach, I've asked all my clients, wait, why do you keep me around? Why do you keep employing me to be your coach? And it comes down to two things. They want that outside perspective and the accountability. And, it's would be like, why not the leadership skills? Or faith's a big part of my coaching. What about the faith piece, or winning a home first? And those things are great, but it's the accountability and outside perspective. Because accountability is, it's goals on all things of your business, of your life, not just business. But you show up better if you are pursuing some of your personal goals, whether it's getting to the gym, or it's spending more, quiet time, or going on dates with your spouse. That makes you a better leader at work. And then the outside perspective is, people want to bounce ideas off of people other than their coworkers, because they may not feel it's a safe place with their peers because it's competitive. They may not feel it's safe with their boss because they don't want to come across as, feeling incompetent. And then for sure not the direct reports, because they're trying to just balance some things out in their head before they proceed with them. So I think an executive coach outside the organization is of significant value.
I know that balancing faith and family and work is a challenge, but Cory, I'm super interested in your perspective of how organizations can incorporate faith into work.
You know, what I've told a lot of my clients, and I did this when I was in corporate, obviously with what I do now and kind of work for myself, I got a little more freedom. But before just kind of marching in, talking about faith and leading with faith, lead with story first. Like lead with the ways that you are living out your faith without just kind of pounding the hammer of, hey, we're, God first in this place. Actually just kind of do it. And, some examples, the idea of when someone at the water cooler, or it talks about, what'd you do this weekend? Maybe say, like for us, my son and I, we just went to a family camp that was put on by our church. I can easily live out my faith by just explaining what I did. Just start telling stories. Just start sharing what you did, and people will be curious. Hey, how does that work? How'd you do it? I'd be interested in a camp like that. And so that'd be one of the first things to say for that listeners. Just start answering those questions honestly, what you did, and maybe what books you're reading or things you're doing. And we've all heard of more. We've heard a lot is things are caught more than taught. So as you're just kind of sharing your stories, people will be very curious of it.
The podcast is HR Like a Boss. Obviously, the title of the book is HR Like a Boss. And I get all my great guests out of the show by challenging them with the question, how would you describe someone that does HR Like a Boss?
What I love HR Like a Boss to me is those that are just taking a hold of the people in the company. Like, are they truly developing them and making sure that they are getting fulfillment out of their career? And then are they doing a great job of establishing culture? And that it is a healthy and productive culture and not just one that's busy and toxic.
Awesome job, Cory. I really enjoyed having you on the show today.
Thank you very much, John. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you for listening to the HR Like a Boss podcast. If it resonates with you, please leave a rating or review, or better yet, subscribe and share with a friend. Until next time, let's continue to aspire to do amazingly awesome HR.